FTM Magazine, and all queer media outlets. Am I still a man to you?
Goodness, my hair. Hey, it's Parker. Okay, this is episode 1 of The Truth, and this is a topic that I've really wanted to be, bringing up for a long time, but I didn't, because I was afraid, but I'm no longer afraid, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. I recently heard, very recently, within the last 3 minutes, that FTM Magazine has shut down. People are upset about it. I'm just gonna be completely blunt and honest about how I feel. I'm just gonna have to accept that I might not get the best reaction from people. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I am not white. My father is Trinidadian, my mother is German, I'm half German, and I'm half Trinidadian. My ancestors came from India and Africa and merged in Trinidad many, many years ago and created whatever they are. So another thing you might notice, I'm not buff. I have some illnesses. I'm not buff. There are things about me. I wear makeup. My hair is long. I'm very alternative. Stuff like that. Things that society looks at and says, this isn't what we want people to be, and this is not how we want people to look like. I am not the only person who noticed this about FTM Magazine and all of the mainstream trans media out there. And I know that some of these people and places are trying to correct this issue, but a lot of, specifically the trans men that are being portrayed in these ways, like portrayed with the magazine, putting somebody on television, anything at all, anything that gets people's faces out there. They're all white, buff, passing trans men. I don't think I have once, and you can totally correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not once seen an alternative man of color with a disability who doesn't have tons of muscles, who may be a little bit feminine, on the cover of a magazine like this. Not once, ever, okay? That disturbs me to the very core of my being, because we all go through the same thing, unless some of us choose to not go on testosterone and not have surgeries, and that is okay. If you say you're a man, you are a man. So these types of organizations should be catering to the entire spectrum. They shouldn't be taking what the ideal male is and throwing it in your face and saying, this is how you need to be. I mean, I don't know that they're exactly saying this is how you need to be, but by shoving it in your face, week after week, the same material with the same people, it's kind of giving us the impression that we are never going to be living up to their standards. We're never going to look like them. Therefore, we're never really going to be right in the eyes of society, which is completely backwards. And I thought that this community was about banding together, going through similar experiences, but not exactly the same. Some guys love to wear makeup. Some guys have transitioned. Okay, some guys were assigned female at birth, hated wearing dresses. Hated, like me, okay? I hated wearing dresses. Absolutely hated it. I could not stand it. Or makeup. But after I transitioned and I felt comfortable in my own skin, I'm now realizing that I'm okay to wear dresses and wear makeup and grow my hair, because I don't feel like I have to do it. I want to do it, But this magazine shutting down, I've seen so many posts from people, from overweight trans men, from trans men of color, from trans men who are not on testosterone, or trans men who they don't feel like they're passing. And I hate, I hate the word passing, because it's like you're trying to sneak around and pass, and it's like you're turning into one day you want to turn into a pear. If this is a shaker, does this pass as a pear? Because it's a shaker. If it wants to be a pear, it's a pear. If it doesn't want to be a shaker, maybe it'll cut a little hole underneath and remove all of the little rocks in there. But right now, this is a pear shaker. But if it wanted to be a pear, it could be a pear. Do you know what I'm trying to say? If it says it's a pear, it's a damn pear. Anyway, so I absolutely hate the term passing because I think we just got to find a better word for it. I'm not totally innocent here. I've used the words before. I've said, well, I'm starting to pass now. But, I mean, I guess when people say pass, they mean, you know, other people are looking at me and they're seeing male, or other people are looking at me and they're seeing female, depending on assigned gender you're transitioning away from. Or if you're not even transitioning to any specific gender. I know a lot of genderqueer people who are both or neither. And that is not something that I see in these magazines. When I turn on a TV show and I watch a person's story, if they're on a talk show, or, I mean, this pops up everywhere, it's ridiculous. You know, I'm always looking at a white passing guy. I'm not seeing relatable people. So aside from the fact that everybody is so pissed off that these types of things, like FTM Magazine, are portraying one specific type of person, aside from that, it's the fact that people want to be able to relate to those who are public and who are out there. Somebody wants to look at another person that is having similar experiences than them, and they want to be able to say, I can relate to you on this level. I mean, if the only way that you can relate to them is the fact that they are transitioning, that is bullshit. It's like, okay, so here's a computer mouse, all right? And its main function is to move things around. This is my arm. It moves around. The only thing that my arm and this mouse can relate to each other, the only thing is that they both move things around, okay? That's it. That is it. I'm not going to look at this mouse and say, oh my gosh, I'm just like you in every way. We are so similar. I can relate to you so well. You move things around. This part of me moves things around. Oh my God. It's not how it works. You need diversity. Where is the diversity in this community? Where is the diversity? And it's not just in the trans community, it's in the world. I've been fighting for disabled rights for a while. It's been a while, okay? And I will not stop fighting for disabled rights. And I will not stop fighting for transgender rights. And I will not stop fighting for LGBTQIA plus rights. I will never stop fighting. But on the other hand, I will also speak out, because if you are silent, you are contributing to the problem. One more thing is, when I go on YouTube and I look at all of the YouTube celebrities, specifically the transgender YouTube celebrities, all I'm seeing is white guys. I'm seeing white guys who pass, and I gotta find a better word. I'm seeing white guys who, today, the word pass is going to be exchanged for the word pair, just because I don't want to say pass anymore. I'm seeing white guys who pair, and who are completely able-bodied, who have bulked the shit up, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I am not saying you can't be bulky, you can't be muscly, you can't be lumberjack. You know, there's nothing wrong with being like that. That is just another type of person, but it's not every type of person. And I know it's hard to cover every type of person, but it's not that hard to be diverse, because the world is diverse. White people make up a very, very tiny percent of the population of the world, yet that's all I'm seeing in Western civilization. You know, that's all I'm seeing for role models. I'm seeing these bulky, beardy white guys, and every now and then, and I love it when this happens, I'll come across a disabled trans guy, or something that isn't Caucasian, trans man, and I will say to myself, thank you for existing, because this guy right here, not saying everybody, I can relate to them. I want to be relatable to everybody, okay? I'm not totally white, but I'm half white, so if you're white, you can relate to half of me. If there are any Trinidadian or East Indian or African trans men out there, you can relate to that half of me. Either way, it's weird because me, like myself as a person, I cover a lot of areas. I cover alternative lifestyle. I cover the disabled population. I cover the people of color population. I cover the queer population. I cover the the transgender population. So to me, it's a blessing and a curse because some people will look at me and say, "You are absolutely the worst thing I've ever seen." Because you are all of these things and for some reason it's too much. Or somebody will look at somebody like me and say, you are all of these things and it's wonderful because a lot of people can relate to you. The point of this video wasn't to just talk about how relatable I can be, because that's honestly that's up to you, not me. The reason people are angry is because not everybody can relate to these guys. And I don't know if it's jealousy. Like when I look at a big, bulky, muscular trans guy, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous because that's not who I am. I'm not a big, bulky trans guy. I'm a 5'6", 100-pound disabled trans guy. Like I'm just not a muscly guy because I can't be. People want to relate. People want to be able to relate to you, and that is sort of the point of making the life of a trans person known to the world and making it something that people can look at and relate to and feel good about and, be educated on. I gotta branch off for a second. That's another thing. If people outside of the queer community are looking at this, they're gonna think that all trans people, all trans men are supposed to look this way. So God forbid somebody else shows up there with some makeup on and they're wearing a skirt and they're like, I'm a guy, but I don't want to dress the way you think I'm supposed to dress. In the head of a cis person, and I love my cis allies so very much, but they'll never be able to fully understand what it's like because it's simple. They've never been through it. In their head, it just might get confusing. And when people get confused, they get a bit ignorant. And when people are ignorant, it can turn into a literal war. It's a race war, it's a gender war, it's just a war. And that's no fun. There it is, laid out for you. The truth, from my perspective. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. And again, I have to say, no, I'm not jealous of white, bulky, lumberjack trans men. I'm not. In fact, doing that much physical activity, lifting that much pounds, it would probably kill me. So I'm actually blessed that I'm not continuously working on my body. I'm working on my mind. And I think that that's very important. And one more thing, I'm not saying that the people that they've portrayed are bad people, because I know some of them personally, and they are amazing people. They just want to do good in life. That's all they want to do. But there is an issue here. And if we don't address this issue, it's not going to ever have a solution. And we're going to be stuck in this cycle, getting these expectations, having these norms, when we're just people. And we need to be individuals. Catch my drift? That was The Truth, episode 1. I love you so much. Bye-bye.